Hello guys, welcome to eztv Presents Tech View, another episode. In this episode, I will show you guys vCenter permission. So a vCenter permission means authentication. So as you guys know, vCenter has its own local domain, like as an Active Directory domain, which is called single sign-on domain. So locally, by default, it creates a username administrator, which is administrator at vSphere.local or something, whatever you provide when you set it up the vCenter. So with that user, you will be able to log in to the vCenter, and that user has a superpower. But when you integrate your vCenter with Active Directory, that means you will be able to assign your Active Directory user to log in to the what is called to the vCenter. So that means whenever you have integration with Active Directory, you'll be able to log in with your Active Directory users. So you'll be able to log in with the Active Directory users. It not means that all of the Active Directory users has a permission already. It's not mean that. So you have to provide the permission. So I'll show you step by step how you're gonna provide your Active Directory users permissions in your vCenter. And after that, how you're gonna log in with your Active Directory users depends on what kind of privileged access you provide as a permission. This is one thing. And second thing, I'll show you guys tenant-based permission. Tenant-based means you can consider you can create some folder on different view, also resource pool, and also based on that, if you want, you can create a group, and group of people you can assign on different folder. That means whenever they log into with their credential, they're gonna see only those folder. So which is called tenant-based access. So you can consider each and every folder as a tenant. So which also I'm gonna show you in this video. So this video is all about permission, vCenter permission, and privileged access. Let's go. I'm going to share my screen and I will show you guys hands-on, like actually how you're gonna configure it. Let me share my screen. Okay. I think this is the screen I have here, everything. So this is my vCenter. I can have it here. So if you can look at here, how I logged into this vCenter. Let's say like log out, and I want to log back in. So I'll show you. So this is the default user, vSphere.local. In here, when you set up the vCenter server, you can set it up with in different user. That's not a problem. You can use different name for the domain. It's a local domain for vCenter. So it says vSphere.local. You can say your company name, or you can say vSphere 6, vSphere 7, or vSphere 8.local, vSphere 8.com, vSphere 8. Anything, whatever you want. But this is the default name, which one I use, default name provided by the VMware. But you can have anything else, like you can change vSphere word with your customized word, whatever you want. Anyway, so when I set it up, I provided this one, and the by default user is administrator. So administrator has a superpower, right? So I'm going to log in with this one. So this administrator is a local administrator, so it's a local user, and it has administrative privilege access. That means entire vCenter, it can do anything. So if you look at vCenter, you're gonna see and here there is a multiple tab, and one of the tab called permission, and you're gonna see who has the permission here, right? And if you click the data center, you're gonna see same thing. There's a permission tab. Each and every component when you create, see, I have a cluster, one cluster here, another cluster here. I have another cluster here. I have a resource pool. You see that this is the icon of the resource pool. So each and everything, whenever you have something, it will create. You can assign like permissions individually. So management, it's a resource pool, right? So if I assign somebody here, That means those users, whoever I assign here, they will be able to log they will be able to log into the vCenter, and they will be able to log in, they will be able to see only this folder, nothing else. That's called a tenant base. So first you have to make sure they will be able to log in. So for login, you have to make sure they have access on here, like a root label. Root label means vCenter. See here, your vCenter name. So your vCenter name is a root label. So you have to make sure that group has a permission on the root label. But what kind of permissions? It's not mean that you have, like, those users have to have a administrative level permissions. It's not like that. At least to log in, they have to have a like read-only access or network level access or something. Read-only access also fine, they will be able to log in. So one user, maybe they have a read-only access permission on the vCenter, like this one, and in here also maybe they can have a read-only. In here maybe they can have only read-only, but in here, if you want to provide them an administrative, so in this folder, it's not a folder actually, it's a resource pool. In this resource pool, if you want, you can make that user as a administrator. That means he can do anything inside this, anything he can do. So it depends what type of a role you assign for them. So let's explain to the role and permission. So in vCenter, if you go to the menu options, like in 6.7, which is already end of life, and vCenter 7, vCenter 8, they have a permission stuff in here, in this side. You can just see here 3 dot. If you click at 3 dot, and then you're gonna get the same list. So you have to go to the administration, and you see here update manager. So in vCenter 6.7, like you'll have update manager, but in vCenter 7 and vCenter 8, the update manager is changed to lifecycle manager. That's the difference. And also up to vCenter 6.7, you're gonna see the menu like here, like this. If you click on the drop down, you're gonna see the list. But in vCenter 7 and vCenter 8, you're gonna see 3 dot here, 3 or 4 dot here. You can just click here, then you're gonna see the same kind of list. And you need to go to the administration. So when you go to the administration, you're gonna see here roles. So roles, administrator roles, read-only roles, no access roles, auto update user roles. Each and every one has a different meaning. So if you see the privilege access for this, read-only, it's not showing anything, right? Okay. So administrator means privilege access. The alarm, they can like configure the alarm, they can see the alarm, they can set the alarm, they can delete the alarm, but who has administrative privilege access, and then permissions. So whoever is the administrator, they can work on the permission, they modify the permission, modify the privilege access, auto deploy, certificate, library. It's a huge list. It's a huge list. You see here, it's a huge list. So that means whatever the user you assign them as an administrator, they can do a lot of stuff. And if you give them read only and the privilege access, usage privilege access, description, see details of object but not make change. So that means what? Whoever has a read-only access as their privilege access, they have a read-only. That means they will be able to see entire vCenter, whatever you assign, whatever the place you assign, but they cannot make any change. And no access means used for restricting granted access. So specifically, you provide one user, you provide on the root level administrator. That means he's supposed to have administrative access in an entire vCenter, right? Globally, if you assign. But if you want to make a what is called exception, if you want to make an exception, okay, out of the entire vCenter, maybe one of the folder or one of the resource pool, you don't provide them access. In that case, just specific on that folder, click it, and then as a permission wise assign no access. That means he or she will not have access. So I'll show you guys step by step everything, all those things. Trigger alarm, no access, VM virtual machine console, and also if you want, you can have your own customized roles. You can click here plus sign, and you see here, you can assign, okay, alarm, you want to see them alarm or you want to see them folder. So you can select, you see, so folder. You want to give them create a folder, delete a folder, move a folder, or rename a folder, or all folder. If you give here all folder privilege, that means, so I'm just showing you here something. I'm not giving them everything. So I can say create a folder and delete a folder, not move folder, or not a rename a folder. So they cannot rename the folder. Or you can say rename a folder, not move the folder. So next, and role name, you have to provide the role name. I'm going to cancel it. So you can have a multiple things. You can plus sign, and you can say this one. You can add multiple ones here. It is just adding all global privilege. There is a lot of options you can provide here. Certification, folder, extension, distributor switch. I'm going to cancel it, or you can copy the entire things. Okay, for example, administrator, it has a full access right? So if you want to clone the administrative roles, but you want to make your own customized one, right? So clone is here, clone role action. Just clone it, and you can say this one is, you can say custom administrator. Custom or customize is up to you how you gonna assign, do it. Custom administrator. Okay, so now you see here the custom administrator, actually it has also the full rights, right? But now you can edit it. You can go edit and alarm. Okay, so now by default administrator has all of the roles, right? But the customized one you make, which is you may create a clone, so you can just uncheck. Okay, create alarm. Okay, maybe this one you cannot say, they cannot create the alarm, or they cannot disable the alarm, or they cannot modify the alarm, remove the alarm. Okay, so don't remove, but you can create it, right? Create and say remove, not modify the alarm. Just I change one place, right? And auto deploy, and auto deploy privilege, you can say no auto deploy privilege. Okay, and maybe for the data center level, create a data center, move data center, network protocol, query, okay, release IP location, remove data center. Okay, you can say, okay, I don't want to give them remove data center. They can create, but they cannot rename, or they cannot remove. So data store, browse the data store, remove files, rename data store, maybe rename data store, you don't give them permissions. Some levels you can change. You see now I'm customizing, right? Okay, go back here again, check all of them again, and data store, discover, distributor switch. So delete, you see I don't want to give them delete permissions, then you can uncheck it. So, and host profile. So a lot of stuff you can change from here. So that means what, you will be able to create. Okay, so I just created a custom administrator, and custom administrator has a full access, right? But privilege access wise, they have not that much, because I moved some of them. So you can do, because I don't have enough time to explain just only one option. So it's your choice. If you want to change, just select it, and then first create a clone of administrator, and then go to the edit option, and then change the roles. Click each and every one, click each and every one virtual machine wise. Say, okay, virtual machine, you can say, okay, they can remove register and unregister, or maybe they give them unregister, but they cannot unregister, or you can take out both from them. It's up to you how you're gonna get them access, right? So you can, not only that, you can create a multiple. So if you want to clone this one also, again clone this one, and you can say, okay, this is something different service. Based on the service, you can create a different type of like user. So now I have another one, right? You see this one. So now this one you can have more customization. Let's say, okay, I don't want to give them this or whatever. I'm just randomly clicking, just showing you. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. Folder wise, you can say not, and then in here global wise, global permission, you can say no, not this, not this, not this. But you need to read it actually what you are going to do. So what I'm showing here, you just how to create a role. You can have your own customized role, or you can use the existing one. It doesn't matter. That's one thing. Now I'm showing you actually permission. So if you see here under the administration, under access control, the global permission. So global permission means if you assign somebody here in here, they will have a administrative privileged access. They will have a administrative privileged access in entire global permission, means in entire vCenter. So if you want somebody to give, usually we provide a service account permission as a global here, like global permissions. If it can be administrator or it can be just read only, because sometimes monitoring in a monitoring tools needs to be monitor entire vCenter. So monitoring tools not required to create any files or delete any folder, nothing. Then the monitoring tools not required. Monitoring tools required only to have access on entire vCenter. In that case, maybe monitoring service account I can assign here as a so I can add it here like this. Add here, click here, go to the SLB, that means this is my domain, and search the user. So now I'm giving you an example. Okay, so in Active Directory I have two users, one administrative user, I'll show you here, one regular user. You see here I have a regular user here. My account number is S Mojumdar. My first initial and my last name S Mojumdar is my regular account. How I can say it's a regular account? If you look at here, I have only domain user permission, nothing else. So I cannot do anything with this account in Windows environment. Windows environment, this user doesn't have any kind of power. But if you look at here, administrative accounts, and this is MD Saif Majumdar, if I click it here, my account name is AA, that means administrative account S Majumdar, AA S Majumdar. This user has some power. If you go to the member of, see the administrator as a built-in administrator. That means domain level administrator privilege access I have on this user, right? And also RDP access. Also, I have a sysadmin access. So this user has some more powerful in Active Directory. That means in a Windows level, this user can do a lot of things, but if in a regular user, this user cannot do that much. This user cannot do that much, right? But this is a regular user in Active Directory. But if I want, I can make this user as a super user inside the vCenter. Let's show you right now. Okay. So S Mojumdar, right? S Mojumdar. Okay, see here it pop up here as Mojumdar. And now what kind of role I'm gonna provide as Mojumdar in here? What kind of role I will provide as Mojumdar here? I can say, okay, I'm gonna provide as Mojumdar as a administrator. Administrator is by default here, and if you want to change it, see custom administrator as which one I created, right? If I want, I can provide him like this, or you can say network administrator sample. That means it's gonna give him everything showing, but he cannot do a lot of stuff. No access means totally no access. And if I can say read only, just only read only, he like regular account, this regular account will be able to log in and will be able to see everything, but cannot do anything. So we're gonna check one by one. So let's say starting with the administrator. Okay, administrator. So now the S Mojumdar will have the administrative privilege access on the global level, but it's not propagate to children. I can say okay, click OK. So S Mojumdar is assigned. You see here, S Mojumdar is assigned. Now go back to the host and cluster view, and if you come here, you see here, S Mojumdar is not here. You see here, S Mojumdar is not here, right? You see here, permission. S Mojumdar, this is another user, just delete it. Okay. Actually, this is assigned by global, like from. So when you assign it like this, what will be happen? So let's remove first one thing, because I had the old user there. I'm going to remove it. Okay. Okay. So what I did, so if I go edit again, you see propagate to children. That's why it's not showing all of under this. If I click here, propagate it to the children, click OK. Now the permission status is going to be changed. And if you go to the host and cluster view, you're going to see here as Mojumdar is a global permissions, and it's going to show each and every places. Okay. So now site Mojumdar, if you go data center, you're going to see site Mojumdar as Mojumdar is automatically. If you go here, I didn't assign individually here. It automatically there, because on the, like in the administrative level, I assigned them as a global permission. That's why global means entire vCenter. So entire vCenter, any place you go, you're going to see them. All these are child. All these are child. That's why when I go here and administrative and global permissions, and when I select this one, I go to the edit, the pencil is the edit option. When I check mark here, it change everything. So propagate to children, it will gonna change everything. Click OK. That means it's gonna be assigned entire vCenter. So anywhere, any place you go, you're gonna see S Mojumdar has administrative permissions. And how S Mojumdar is getting the administrative permissions is a global permission. That's why. And S Mojumdar is a really less powerful user in Active Directory, but in vCenter, S Mojumdar is a super user. You see how you can change the role, how you can change the permission, how you can change the privilege access. So let's log in here, log out from here, and now log in as a S Mojumdar. So instead of this, we're going to log in as Mojumdar at slv.com and $. Okay. Oh, sorry. S Mojumdar at slv.com. Oh, let's see. Did I change the password here? Let's reset the password. Yeah, the password was problem before. So you see here, I'm logging as a S Mojumdar, and when I logged in as administrator, whatever I was able to see, now I'm gonna able to see everything same as like the before, right? So it's loading. I don't know why it's a little slow. All right, so S Mojumdar is like able to see. This is the root level, the vCenter name. Oh, why it's running too slow? Okay. So you see here, S Mojumdar is there, global permission. If you go here, you're gonna see the same thing. Permissions, you see, If you expand it, you're gonna see the same thing. If you expand it, you're gonna see same thing. Same here, like to minimize it and then expand it. You see everything you're able to see. So now I'm gonna show you. I have a go to the administration and then global permission. I'm going to use SLV and AA SMOJUMDER as Majumdar. Instead of administrator, I give read only. Okay, so in the Active Directory, AAS Majumdar, which is administrative, this is my administrative user, which has a lot of power in Windows level, right? Because Active Directory provides some privileged access to this user, but in vCenter, this user I'm assigning as a less power. That means I'm giving him read-only permissions and propagate to all children. You see now it's showing here like this. So still now I am logging as a S Majumdar. So what I can do the S Majumdar? So I can create anything. I can create a VM. I can show you something. Say for example, I'm going to create some folder here on the this folder is I'm going to create on the data center level here. So right click on it. You see new folder. So since I'm in the host view, so if you create any folder on the host, then you have to go to the new VMware template folder. New VMware template folder. No, sorry, not template. This is the second one. So I'm the host and host. You see host and cluster folder. Click host and cluster folder. You can say okay. Think about this group you want to assign something like say just an example. Say all the SharePoint server. I don't have any SharePoint server, just an example. SharePoint server. Click OK. You see here, I'm able to create a folder here. So if I create a folder here, I'm going to create the same folder here. Under this one, vCenter, data center, create new folder. This is how you can create a folder. New host and cluster. And then now I'm in a new, this is the template view, right? So I will create a template folder. Template folder. SharePoint. So, and sorry, you can say SharePoint server, or you can say SharePoint VMs. SharePoint VMs. And then storage view, you can say SharePoint data store, right? Right click, network, and then this one is storage folder, right? In here you can say SharePoint hyphen, you can say storage, okay. And then in here you can say under this one, right click on it, new folder. So I'm showing you actually how you can create a separate group of folder in different view. That's also I'm showing. In the meantime, also I'm showing how S Majumdar able to create those folder, because S Majumdar has a superpower, right? That's what administrative privilege access. That's what I'm proving right now. Network folder, say as SharePoint, sorry, SharePoint hyphen network. So far what I did, each and every view I have a folder name SharePoint storage, and I have a name SharePoint here. What SharePoint VMs and SharePoint server, right? But everything is just let us SharePoint. So site modules are able to do that, right? And if you go to the permission tab, you're gonna see in here site module has a administrative access, and this folder S Majumdar has a read only. So Site Majumdar, S Majumdar and AAS Majumdar, two different user, right? S Majumdar has an administrator. That means S Majumdar can do anything. So inside this, if I want to move any machine, I will be able to move the machine. So let's say this machine, I'm going to move it here. Actually, this one is under where? Okay, let's say this SharePoint, I'm going to put it in under SharePoint server. Okay, you see here some difference. When I drag and drop, you see every places shows SharePoint server as a cross. I cannot do much. I gave them administrative privileged access. Still, it's not a super user. Still. So how I can make this one as a super user? So before I prove this one as a super user, at least you understand that one's administrator. It's able to create a folder. It's able to create a folder in a global level in any places. Let's show you log out from here. Let's show you a Majumdar, which has a less privileged access, just read only. Read only means he cannot do anything. So right click. Instead of S Majumdar, just use AA and then login. So right now I logged in as a AAS Majumdar. In Active Directory, this one is a super user, but in vCenter, I assigned this user as a read-only user. Read-only user means it will be able to see everything but cannot do anything. Just able to see it. You see, able to see it, but it cannot do anything. Say for example, right click here, you can say new folder. You see, nothing he can do. Nothing he can do. Everything is gray out. You see, everything is gray out. He cannot do anything anywhere, and also he cannot delete anything. Right click on it, you see, he cannot do anything. So if I can show you in a different window, let's say so I have to use to show you different privileged access on for two different user. I have to use two browsers. In the same browser, I cannot log in the same vCenter with two users. So I have to use different. So what is the URL for this? slv.com, right? So maybe through the Internet Explorer. I don't like Internet Explorer. If I can have Mozilla Firefox, that's okay. You see, this one is like it's a lot of security issues, and you have to add them. Let's add. Okay, close. Okay, let's log in here as AASMOJUMDER as Majumdar, add slb.com, and password is the Internet Explorer is like a little bit slower than the Google Chrome. Anyway, see, all the time it's gonna give me headache. Okay, so I logged in AA Mozunda, right? AA Mozunda doesn't have that much privileged access. That means it only have a read only, which I already explained, right? It cannot create anything. Right click on it, you can see everything is gray out, so it cannot do nothing. Just it can, this user will be able to see everything, but cannot do anything, right? That's already proved. So let's say minimize this one, and in here I'm gonna log in as a vSphere, which is local user. So through this, we prove that AA site Mojumdar has only like administrative. This is administrative account on the Active Directory side, but in vCenter, this user doesn't have nothing. It just have only read only access. It cannot do anything, just read, just it able to view all everything, because I assign as a global. But if I don't assign them as a global, it cannot do not that much. That's also I want to show you. And also when I log in as a Mojumdar, just as Mojumdar, which is the administrator, as Mojumdar at slv.com, slv.com. So then he will be able to, because he's a global user, right? Each and every place when I go and check the permission, I see as Mojumdar is the administrator and is a global permission, right? So that means it can do anything anywhere. But when I try to move one thing like this folder to this here, it shows no, I cannot do that. That means still there is some limitation. How you can remove this limitation? So right now this user is working as an administrator, that's true, but it's not in the root label. So how you can give him more permission, like as this one, like as a administrator as vSphere.local, how you can give them this permission? Okay, administrator vSphere.local. Here, so you can change it. Go to the, now I logged in as administrator, which is super user, right, the default one, and I want to change S Mojumdar permissions. S Mojumdar is a global permissions, but that's fine. How are you gonna change it? You have to go to the menu option. If it is a global permission like this, you have to go to the administration and go here, global permission, and then you see here S Mojumdar here, and this as a Mojumdar, I'm going to delete this user as a global permission. So I just select A Mojumdar, delete it. Okay, and S Mojumdar. So usually I shouldn't do with S Mojumdar, but I'm just going, this is the regular user. You should assign administrative user, you should, but I'm just giving you the actual scenario that it doesn't matter the user has how much power in Active Directory. It not means the user will have the same privilege access on vCenter, but it's up to you. Just to prove this, I already proved it. But another thing is, usually administrative user, whoever is have administrative user on Active Directory, that user gonna be assigned here also with the same kind of privileged access. That's usually supposed to do. But I'm just showing you the difference. So user, this is the user, right? Now I want to move them from like these global permissions to, I'm going to just completely delete from here. Okay. So I can assign this user as a local administrator. You see here, vSphere.local administrator, vSphere local.administrators is a group. So if I can make a member of this local group, like my user, that means my user will be a super user. My user will be a super user. So how I can do that? So let's go to the users and groups, single sign-on. If I can assign that user as a single sign-on user, so single sign-on user, that means a root user, the default user. What that means, administrator, you see here, administrator, user administrator will be here. And somewhere you want to see the user administrator. There's a lot, all those are built-in user created by when we set it up the vCenter. I'm not sure where is the administrator. Somewhere here. You want to see that vSphere line. Single sign-on user. Where is the single sign-on user of the administrator? Anyway, it's somewhere here. Oh, sorry. If you go to the vSphere, you're gonna see it here. Administrator. You see, administrator, vSphere.local, and domain is vSphere.local, right? So this user has a super power. We already know, because this is the default one when we install the vCenter, right? That times is created. But I want to give that super permissions to my Active Directory user. How I can do that? So if I go to the groups, there is an administrators group on the local domain, which is vSphere.local. Under the vSphere.local is here, administrator. If you click here, you're gonna see this is by default groups, administrator groups, right? Administrator groups, right? In administrators and group, default administrator is a member of this default administrators group. So if I can add here, add a member and change SLV, I can search, say, as Mojumdar. I can assign him as a super user. So now I assign him as a super user, right? And let's log in here. Okay, so let's log out from here. Now log in. Okay. Oof. Okay, let's see. As Mojumdar SLB. Okay. Unable to log in because you do not have permission to any vCenter server. Connect. Okay. Go back to the screen. Log in as a administrator. Groups, administrator. So now this S Mojumdar at slb.com, he has a global user permissions. So that means S Mojumdar is a member of this group. What does that mean? If you go to here, host and cluster view, and if you go here, you're gonna see vSphere.local/administrators. So that group has a global permission. Now this user is supposed to have access. Sometimes it takes time to update and sync all the permissions, but eventually it's gonna be work. And if you go each and every places, this users is already assigned. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a groups and users. So these two are groups, and the rest of them are users. So those are by default created. And I make my regular account, which is S Majumdar, is a member of this local user group. So that means local level, it has a global permission. That's what it means. Each and every places where you go, each and every place, the same permission it has, right? So this is already assigned by the vCenter. So now S Majumdar is a member of this. That means S Majumdar will have permission. But if this one is doing some kind of it shouldn't have like this. It shouldn't have like this. Let's see here. Log out and S Majumdar at slv.com. Okay, let's do it here. Change it as Majumdar. No, say so. You just need to take. So in here, where I change, just on from the administration and global permissions, you can add here directly, or maybe you can go under the groups and go to the groups and then administrators. Okay, the last one is administrators, and if you can be a member of this, or maybe if you have a group, you see here I have a group name here, user group help desk. So say for example, I can create a group name, BC admin, BC admins. It's a group name, BC admins. And if I add now, go to the properties and member, add, say S Majumdar. Okay, now S Majumdar is a member of BC admin, right? Apply and okay. Go here. So now, say for example, I'm going to delete this one, this user, I'm going to delete it. Remove the member, yes. And I'm going to global permissions. In here, instead of assigning individual user, if you go SLV and then assign the group, which is called, what's the name I provide? BC admins, right? Admins. BC, I have a two. This is a user, BC admin, and BC admins is a group, vCenter admins, right? So whoever is the member of vCenter admins, he or she will be able to do as this role. So what role you can select from here, what kind of role you want. So I'm going to assign him as administrator and propagator the children, and okay. So now S Majumdar will be able to, again, in here it shows BC admins, but I know S Majumdar is a member of this group, right? So S Majumdar will be able to do that. Log out. But before I log out, I want to move you something, just show you. You see it, you can put it here, you can put it outside, and say SharePoint folder is under here. Okay, log out. Now I'm going to log in as the same thing as Mojumdar. It's not real. I just logged in with this, right? If I assign this one, why I'll not be able to log in? I should be able to log in. So we know S Mojumdar is a superpower user, and the user we have, which is AA Mojumdar. AA Mojumdar is a read only, right? It was, but if you want to change it, so for example, if you remove this, okay, say I'm logging as administrator, come 1 2 3 $. Okay, so I logged back in again with the administrator at vSphere.local. So right now you see here there's no A Mojumdar, no A S Mojumdar, or no S Mojumdar, no users there, only BC admin is there, right, as administrator. So now what does it mean? Whoever is the member of this group, they will have superpower. So if I can change in here, properties, members, now I'm changing as Mojumdar. Actually is syncing problem with the vCenter, right? That's why it's taking a little bit time. I just added, so add, say as Mojumdar. As Mojumdar, okay. As Mojumdar, and I'm removing my regular account. Okay, sorry, not this one. Regular account I'm removing. Yes. So now I'm providing AAS Mojumdar as an administrator. Let's see. Apply OK. And also I'm going to create another group which is called SharePoint. Just any group can be happen. Just I'm giving an example. Say SharePoint group or something like that, right? So I'm giving them some specific. Okay. Right click, and in this group I'm going to add, as a member I'm going to add my regular account, which is only S Mojumdar. You see, S Mojumdar before has a super administrator, right? He creates a folder and everything, but now S Mojumdar I'm giving just some specific permissions, and I'm making this S Mojumdar as a member of SharePoint group. That's why I created a SharePoint group, S Mojumdar. That's it, check, and okay. So S Mojumdar is a member of SharePoint. Apply and okay. Actually, okay. So S Majumdar is which is my regular account, is a member of SharePoint, and now a BC admins group, who is the member? Administrative side, which is AS Majumdar. And let's see what's the difference we made. So in here you see BC admins, whoever is a BC admins, he has a global permission, because how I assign it. Now if you have another 10 user, just go to your Active Directory, add that 10 users in this group, and then all those 10 users will have the global permission on this vCenter. You don't need to come to the vCenter again, because you already assign a group, right? And now I'm going to provide the SharePoint team, not the entire global permission. I can give them maybe some specific permission. So in this one, I can say, okay, and in this tab, so before we send permission from here, right, menu and administrator, and then we go to global permissions for providing the global permission. But right now we are not providing the global permissions. So that's why we are going back to where? Go back, menu and host and cluster. Individually, I'm going to provide, right? So first is vCenter 6.7 root level. Root level, what kind of permission? So you can manage permission from here too. So add, and then say, in here you have to do a lot of work actually. So SLB, and in here you can say, so okay, in here you're gonna just provide network level view only, network level view only. So in that case, what we can do, go back to here, administrator, and also on the Active Directory side, I'm going to create another group, new groups, and I can say tenant admin view, tenant group, TG, tenant group. What type of view? Read only view. Read only, right? Read only. Or you can say R view. Read only view. TG read only view. TG hyphen read only view. Whatever the name doesn't matter. If it's up to you. So I'm creating a group, this one. So in this group, if I assign, okay, all the SharePoint team, all the SharePoint group, if I can assign, go to the properties, member, add, I can say SharePoint. So SharePoint also a group, right? So this group is a member of this TG review group, okay? RView, apply, okay. If you go back here, member, see, so whoever the members of this SharePoint group, all of them is the member of also TG RView group. So then now to provide easy global permission. So if you go here, global permission, and add here TG RView, you're gonna see here. So TG RView, you're gonna provide only the network level. Network level is network administrator sample, means it's gonna see everything, but it cannot do anything. It's like as an read only view, but it can do some little bit. And say propagate to all children. So what's gonna be happening? Okay. So now this is a group. Inside there is another group, right? TG review is a group, and inside there is another group has a permission, which is SharePoint group. And SharePoint group maybe can have multiple users. So right now in the SharePoint group, I don't have multiple users. Only S Majumdar is a member of this. So that means S Majumdar has a network level administrative access on all places. If you go here, host and cluster. So if you see TG, if you click here, TZ, if you click here, TZ, if you click here, TZ, right? So that means S Mojumdar has only the network level authentication. Go here, log out. And click here. So A Mojumdar add slv.com. Login. That's why I don't like this browser. This browser is crap. It's too much. And AA. Oh, not only A Mojumdar, ASMOJUMDER slv.com. Oh, okay. Same thing, right? Anyway, I don't care. Let's go here, say S Mojumdar. Sure. So this is the actual system. Now, actually, I have problem with the authentication, Active Directory, and so this can be resolved by, okay, let's see. I think I have to restart my vCenter, and it will resolve. Because in here, I just logged in. You guys already saw it, right? I logged into those users, administrator. And if I go to this configuration, SLV vCenter is there. Anti-source. SLV DC02 is already there. It's just creating some problem because of the authentication. Okay. And it means okay, let's remove the from the SharePoint. From TZ, I'm removing the SharePoint. Okay. So let's see if so from here you can change a lot of things, but in this mode also you can do, like, say, instead of going the administration, you can do from here, but in here you have to do individually. Like, say, for this one, right, add SLV, and in here you can say AASMOJUMDERS Mojumdar. You can provide administrative. Let's try with this one. What happened? Okay, so S Mojumdar, I give him administrative, global, and children. That means what? It's gonna, if you come here, you're gonna see the administrator. See here, administrator. If you come here, you're gonna see S Mojumdar is administrator, right? So let's log in there. ASMOJUMDER at slb.com. Okay. So you see, I log in as a AS Mojumdar, and AS Mojumdar is able to do anything. You see, it can be changed, say, because it's a global like as all subfolder. If you look at from here, A Majumdar as administrative role, and also its entire vCenter, it's a root level access, right? Anywhere you go and go to the permission, you're gonna see it has the defining in vCenter 6. That means entire vCenter level permission, right? And now if I change, let me show you another thing. So if a Majumdar wants to move it, see, he is able to move it, right? He can do anything. You see, now it's go back here. If you like move back to here, then you can do like this. You see, it's moved back again here, right? So it's up to if you move it like this, that means now you can move it here. Okay. Also, if you want, you can create a folder here. Or also in here, if you look at on this tab, the second tab, host and cluster view, right? VA data center, and you're gonna see here management and some folders, some files is here, SharePoint. I don't have anything on the SharePoint folder, so from the management maybe I can move some stuff just to see show you to prove it. See Unity Send, I'm going to move it to SharePoint. And so who is moving actually? AS Majumdar, because he has a administrative privilege access, right? So he's able to move here. You see, already I moved too. And on the network level, also you can move Virginia. You are able to see all of them because you're the administrator, right? So if you move anything to SharePoint, say for example, and NAS02 is a SharePoint storage, you just put it inside, just drag and drop. You see. So SharePoint has a one folder, but you are able to see not only the SharePoint storage folder, you are able to see everything because you are a like a root level administrator. That's why. And now, so it means you have access entire. The reason is I put it here as a propagate to the children. But if I say okay, no, click OK, I just give you administrator permissions in here, only this here. If you go here, you're gonna see as Majumdar is administrator, only this. Okay, so which one I take it out? I forget actually. Okay, this one is coming from there. Okay, here edit, I say no, just okay. So this object only, that means if you go here, you are not able to see as Majumdar. As Majumdar only here. As Majumdar is administrator on the central level, but only this object, not other object. So let's refresh it. You see here? Now it says you have no privileged view. In here, if you click, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see everything here, but you cannot do that much. You cannot do that much. You see, because I changed the permission. So now, if I say, okay, now I'm going to remove this one. Remove the user, not with the user. Let's say in here, TZ view, right? So I'm going to add here SharePoint again. Go to the members. There's no members. Again, add SharePoint. Add the SharePoint here. Okay. Apply and okay. So now TG, that means tenant group, as it's going to be a SharePoint access, and Who is the member of SharePoint? S Mojumdar, the regular user, S Mojumdar, not AS Mojumdar, it's S Mojumdar. So is a member of TG, also is a member of SharePoint, right? But BC admins, who is the member of BC admins? If you go to the administrator side, right? So now we're gonna look at from here. We're gonna look at more from here. BC admins is a global permissions. So I'm going to remove the global permissions. So first, let's remove them from the global permissions. Global permissions. I'm just going to remove them from the global permissions. Okay, and okay. So global permission is easy permission. If you give somebody entire permissions, you just add them here. But if you want to do like a tenant base or some specific, in that case, just go to the host and cluster view, and from there select this one specifically. Each and every one you can provide individual permissions. So say for example, I'm going to add here SLB and say BC admin, BC AD MIN as admins, BC admins, and I give them as a network sample, network administrator sample, and propagate to the children, and okay. So what I provided here, BC admins. Who is the member of BC admins? Whoever is the member of BC admins, they will have network administrator level access. This subject and children. That means if each and every places where you go, those users, whoever is the member of this group, will have network administrator level, a sample level, and let's see actually what does it mean. If you go here, just refresh it. I can, well, let's log out. This browser is killing me. Okay, let's say log in again. AAMOJUMD, oh sorry, S Mojumdar, AS Mojumdar at slv.com, and so you have to use two browsers. I'll recommend you have a Google Chrome. Before you do that, have a Google Chrome browser and also Mozilla Firefox browser, because I don't like actually this one. So still it's showing the old one. I already changed. So BC admins that means it has a network level access in each and every places. If you go any folder, you're gonna see. If you go any folder, you're gonna see, right? And if you change the permission from here, say instead of local, you can say, okay, let's have read-only view. Okay, so I just changed as a read-only for these groups and this group, and AAS Mojumdar is a member of this group. Then see how much he's able to see. So you just need to refresh it. He's supposed to see the entire vCenter, but I'm not sure why I'm having this. Let's actually log in from here. Let's see. Okay, say AS Mojumdar, and then welcome on to $3 and log in. You see, I'm able to see more stuff here, right? It's weird. So I'm able to view everything. I'm supposed to see everything. You have no privileged view object, or it doesn't exist. which is not true. You see, in here I'm not able to see anything. That means actually I'm not getting the proper response from my vCenter. Just give me 1 second. Let me restart my vCenter. Maybe that will help me. My permissions actually not properly working. You see, with the same user. Oh, you see, now it's coming. Now it's coming. You see, it shouldn't have like this. It's doing some weird things. It shows only one under the cluster computer, right? Why not like SMB host 01? Why it's not showing? Why it's not showing other cluster? I provide them same permissions in each and every one, but it's showing only some few of them. Okay. Log out from here. I know this video will be really a long video, but anyway, this is the way actually you can do. Oh, sorry, I'm going to log out from here. Okay, so think about BC admin is your infrastructure team or your system admin group, right? So you can give them the entire vCenter. You can give them as an administrator. Okay, and what difference we can make? So now each and every places, this one is a BC admin is still in here. Oh, sorry, I changed in a different place. You have to choose the root one. If you don't change on the root one, it will not gonna change. That's why I'm looking in a different shape. Okay. Okay, so now if I log in here, asmojumder@slv.com. Okay. I'll be able to see everything. Interesting. AAS Majumdar, I give him full permission here. You see, BC admins. So who is the member of BC admins? AAS Majumdar is a member of BC admins, and I provide him as administrator in this object and also as child. That means each and every place where you go, you're gonna see. Each and every place where you go, you're gonna see this one has a permission. Each and every places where you go, each and every places, even though in the machine, you go to the permissions, you're gonna see the permissions. So now I will show you actually the alternative case. The alternative case is here on the root level, which is on the vCenter level. I assign, say, TG RVO, that one as a network administrator sample. Network administrator sample, and I can say propagate to children. That's okay. That means whoever is the member of this. Who is the member of this? SharePoint groups is the member of this. And who is the member of SharePoint groups? S Majumdar is a member. So not only S Majumdar, if any other users as a member of SharePoint group, then they are also member of the TG review group, and that TG review group has a local administrator permissions in each and every places, right? But if you want to change, say for example, in SharePoint, under the SharePoint folder, we have a cluster. You see that cluster. I want to provide, I don't want to give them to see the vCenter. If you look at here, refresh it. I'm not sure why. Okay. Maybe I can show you, because this browser is Majumdar, actually S Majumdar at slv.com. Definitely when you have a right browser, you want to see the actual result. I'm sorry to use this one because I don't like actually this browser. Still I have the same thing because it's using the browser crash. So browser crash is like having this issue for the browser cache. I have to clear the browser cache and then maybe it's gonna work. So you can go to the Internet Explorer, somewhere you're gonna see the browser cache and delete all browsing history, delete and blah blah, everything, delete. Okay, here internet option, delete all, delete, apply, okay. And so I don't know what is the vCenter name. Let's say copy from here and put it here. Let's try one more time. Still I don't like this browser. You see, it's gonna give me a lot of headache with this. And a slv.com. Oh my God, now it's giving me a little bit, it's here. I don't know why it's stuck here. It shouldn't be stuck here. It shouldn't be stuck here. So anyway, it should be showing everything. If you do like this, so I'm just showing you the difference. So if you look at here, you're gonna see BC admins has an administrator, privileged access, and this object and all its children. That means whoever the member of this, they will be able to see everything. But now I want to make some what is called, I don't want to show them everything. So what I can say, okay, let's make uncheck this one. Let's say directly SharePoint user, SharePoint, like delete this, add just directly SharePoint, and make them administrator. Okay, I just make him administrator on this level. Not all. Okay, actually no, not all the children, just only this level. And then I will give him to see Virginia data center here, add SLV, same thing, SharePoint, administrator, not administrator, just you can say network administrator sample, not actually administrator is a network sample, right? This one also, let me change it. SharePoint, edit, change it to network administrator sample. You see here, I didn't check mark here, just only this option. So in here, SharePoint group is a role network administrator sample. That means it will be able to see it, but cannot do that much. So it's going to see this one. And also in this data center view, I didn't provide them any access here. So that means what? Whoever is the member of vCenter SharePoint group, they will not be able to see this entire things. They will not gonna be see it. So in here, VA data center, I assign also SharePoint group, so they will be able to see it. And SharePoint, in this folder, it has a cluster and also some resource pool. They will be able to see it. How I can provide them access? So go to the permission, click here and say SLV and say SharePoint, and then give them administrator privileged access and propagate to the children. So that means only all those sub, you see here, SharePoint has a administrator privileged access, administrator, all those under this folder, right? Under SharePoint folder, all those, even though any individual VMs has the same kind of administrative privileged access, that means they can edit, delete, everything they can do. But if you click it here, there's another cluster on the same vCenter, vCenter cluster, and SharePoint users, SharePoint group members is not assigned here as any kind of permission, any kind of roles. So they will not be able to see entire this, they will not be able to see, and also this one they will not be able to see. They only able to see this one. So who is those users? Let's log in there. So SharePoint, we assign here SharePoint, right? So they only able to see this one, this part, because they are administrator on only this part. That's called a tenant base. So if you can have a multiple folder like this, multiple group like this, you can assign them multiple different web permissions. That's called a tenant base permission. So SharePoint groups, sign out, log out from here. So AAS Mojumdar is a member of SharePoint group, right? I believe. Let's see. Actually, I don't know. Let's check it. Who is the member of SharePoint group? Click here, member. No, sorry. Actually, S Mojumdar. S Mojumdar is a member of this group. Let's okay. Just minimize it. So let's log it as S Mojumdar. I have some issue with the authentication actually. Definitely you will not have this kind of issue. So you see here what I'm able to see when I logged in as a S Mojumdar. When I logged in as S Mojumdar, I'm able to see the root vCenter, and on the VA data center I'm able to see this. And then you see we had multiple data center, also multiple cluster. None of the cluster is present here, only this present, right? So if I want to delete this file, you say remove from the inventory, remove, yes, I'll be able to remove it. I have that permission. S Mojumdar is a regular user, but in here it has some permissions under the SharePoint folder, right? But in here, BA, right click on it, you cannot do that much. You see, in the data center, you cannot create another data center, you cannot add a host, you cannot do anything, right? See here. But if you go under this folder, you can do a lot of stuff. You see, add host, new cluster, you can create it here. Because in here you are an administrator, see, but in here you are not administrator, you are just a network administrator. If you go here, you are administrator, so you can do a lot of stuff. See, add host, new cluster, new folder. If you click here, you'll be able to create a new folder. You see, you have option to create a new folder. So this is how you can distribute the power. So I logged in as S Mojumdar. Let's go log in as AAS Mojumdar. AAS Mojumdar is supposed to see all of them because he's the member of vCenter admins group, right? So let's log in as AAS Mojumdar. Ooh, still okay. I understand why it's happened. Log out and let's see here. From here, VC admin, right? VC admins members. Admin Saif is a member of this. So okay, and let's see login as a administrator. Okay, make sure admins is a children, and here is children. Yeah, it's assigned as like this. I don't know why. Each and every places BC admins, so it shouldn't act like this. So it should be work. This one is working. That means it should also work, right? Same kind of group, just different user. So let's take it out from here. This one, I'm going to just remove groups. I'm going to directly add. I'm going to directly add AAS Mojumdar and say propagate to children. So he's the super admin and he will be able to see everything. But only S Mojumdar will be able to see specific which is SharePoint folder because S Mojumdar is a member of this group. That's what we already shows, right? And log out. Now I'm going to log in as a Mojumdar, like A Mojumdar assigned as a administrator. So he's gonna see the entire thing. You see, so he's able to see entire things, right? Everything. So when he log in as a Mojumdar, he's gonna see everything. But whenever he log in as a only S Mojumdar, he will be able to see just a folder. S Mojumdar. See, just a folder. That means it means that in here you are not able to do anything. You see, add host is gray out, new folder, gray out, everything, right? But when you come here, you're gonna see you'll have all those options. If you create a new cluster, you'll be able to create a new cluster. So it means that this is the tenant-based access. So thank you. Thanks for watching this video. And if you think this video helped you, please give a big thumbs up and also make some comments because your comments encourage me to make more video for you guys. And also if you are new in my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And thank you. Thanks for watching.